Yo, what's going on, NFO fans? Shin Wars right here. October 27th, Sunday. Sorry we took so long. We're back. Got some information to put out in regards to some Street Fighter news that was just announced. And got some Sony PlayStation 4 news a little bit later from the Mizu. So we're going to jump right into it. As you all know, Capcom released YouTube video, pictures, and info about some new mechanics for the new Ultra Street Fighter 4. Red focus attack. And, huh?
Whose milestone was that?
The red focus attack and the ability to allow two Ultras during the match at the same time. So let's start off. Who did I contact about this first? 1949. What up, man?
Yo. Well.
Yo. So I remember I contacted you and I was sending you pictures and stuff, and you saw the YouTube video. What's your thoughts first about the red focus attack?
The red focus attack is desperately needed for players like me who have crass defense sometimes. It's interesting, man. I like the fact that it'll be a more effective move. However, you have to use it wisely because when you do a regular focus, that it takes that energy away and you can get it back as long as you don't get hit. But that red focus, I mean, what does it take? 3 hits now?
Now, well, in the video that they had, that combo thing was displaying, they had Ryu versus Ken, and Ryu ate 3 attacks from Ken. So
if he would have got hit after that, his health, I mean, you're talking about like almost 1/4 of your health gone. Yeah. So you can't just spam it. So it's a useful tool. I probably would only use the true red focus for like a super duper emergency, because I mean, if you do all 3 and you get hit, it's gonna hurt.
But now
what I'm most
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. I'll wait.
No, I was going to go ahead into the Ultras, but go ahead if you're still talking about the focus.
Oh, no. Going back to the red focus real quick. Remember in the picture where they had Makoto versus Ryu, and she ate all 5 hits of his super. So that's 5 hits. So, yeah. So, I don't know if you wanted to go into the Ultra. I was just going to jump around to the next person, and then we'll do the 2 Ultras separately.
Okay, do it separately. But that's interesting that you mentioned that super like that, because I'm wondering, is the red focus taking a certain amount of hits, or does it just last throughout the entire animation? That's the interesting part.
Right, and I agree. The Mizu, what's your thoughts on the new red focus attack?
I think it's something that's going to be very abused by high-level players.
Well, and also, you do know that it's going to be meter costly. So it costs a meter of your super bar to do it. So it's like you can't abuse it unless you have meter.
Yeah, but come on. We've seen high-level players, like, just build meter like it wasn't nothing. So, like, the focus attack was already pretty much abused by high-level players. You're going to see this red focus attack be even more abused because it's going to prevent you from doing a lot of combos, especially with combo heavy characters like Ken and like supers like Ryu's Fireball. If you got full screen projectiles, like especially EX moves, that's gonna pretty much nullify that.
Right.
Because usually it's a bad move in my opinion. They should have just fixed the focus that they already had instead of adding this new one.
Now, I remember when Ono talked about when Street Fighter 4 Vanilla was being in development, there was supposed to be a multiple focus attack even then, and then they took it out and it just became one single hit. So it's interesting that they brought that back for this. Mugen Katsuke, what are your thoughts on the new red focus attack?
Well, my thoughts on that is basically, it's okay to have the red focus attack in this game because, as I was telling one of our, distinctive members, Mr. Alex Lixis, that it's not a game-breaking mechanic. When you do the red focus, you're still absorbing the damage, so your thing is still piling up into that little gray meter. So the longer you hold it, the more health that you're gonna get disappeared from you. So it's more of a like a risky move that's being applied to you. To some people, it may be cheap. That how you're saying that he could absorb an ultra, he can absorb a super and stuff like that. It can still be broken by the same moves as a regular focus attack can be broken of, and it can still be out-grabbed. So it's not really a game-breaking mechanic. So I honestly don't have a problem with it, but it does give people who are still starting out or people who struggle in matches to have a fighting chance now against people.
Right. And also I was thinking, what would be the buttons for it? Because medium punch and medium kick now is regular focus. I think I read on one of the forums they were saying make it hard punch.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's the taunt button.
But it might be either a hard punch and hard kick, or they might do it like a cross up button. Like it'll probably be like light punch and hard punch, or light kick and hard kick, like some shit like that.
I got you. I see. That's good. I think it's definitely needed. Because you know the single attacks, you know, if somebody's hitting you with a combo, your focus attack is pretty much done for. You know what I'm saying? They break right through it. So I think this is gonna help. I still think, and I'm just biased towards Boxer Balrog. I'm biased to this. I still think that his EX dash punches should be multi-hit because of El Fuerte has it on his run. Guy has it on his run. Why can't Rog or any other character that has armor? They should have it on theirs, but that's later for another story, for another time. So now we're gonna talk about the double ultras. We're gonna talk about the double ultras, and this has been the talk of the town. You know, talking about which characters will benefit from having two ultras. Also, if you do have both ultras, the damage, I believe, will be scaled. The reason they said was because you have more options now. So, Demizzle, what are your thoughts on having both ultras during the match? And do you think they should have had it in vanilla and super?
It should have been in there from the start, because it reminds me of like how Street Fighter 3 Third Strike originally had it, where you can only choose one super art. Then you had to unlock a mode to where you can use all super arts at the same time.
Yeah, the system direction. Yep.
So I think it should have been in there from the beginning, because having essentially just one super art and one ultra, it kind of made it kind of predictable. But now with two ultras and a super, it's like, okay, we have more options now. We have a more very offensive game. Even though it's at the cost of damage, you can still keep people on their toes and keep them guessing more than, okay, even though, take for instance, I know how you play with Balrog, even though I can't beat you worth a damn. I know exactly what you're going to do. Now that you have two ultra options, it kind of, okay, do I have to watch out for the unstoppable, or do I have to watch out for the headbutt and the elbow? So it's more options out there.
But you know what's funny though about that, Demizu? Balrog's Ultra 2, to me, is very useless.
Garbage.
It's very useless. Now, I know they're making some changes to it where you'll be able to grab people faster, but for me, with Balrog, I'm only going to stay with Ultra 1. Ultra 2 to me is useless. But how do you feel about, since with you having both ultras, Demizzle, that the damage will be scaled back? How do you feel about that? Do you think they should have that, or should it just be the regular damage?
I think the damage being scaled back is good, because think about it. If you have regular damage and you have both ultras, that you could just essentially sit on your ultras all game long, and just, because you do have those players that do that already. But imagine if you have both with normal damage, that would be just too much.
All right, but here's the thing. Like, with the older games, let's say, example, the Street Fighter Alpha series, when you have multiple supers, it was the same damage. Same thing.
Yeah, but
So-
to counter that, the supers didn't take off as much as an ultra does in Street Fighter 4.
They
Like
don't take that much damage now to begin with.
dude, if you have a full meter with say Ken, and I hit you with an ultra, I'm taking 60% of your life.
But okay, and to counter that, let's say if you started off in a combo, right? And let's say you do a Dragon Punch, Fierce Dragon Punch, FADC, into, let's say you do the Ultra 1, whatever, and you got both Ultras, let's say you do the Shinyuken, that's damage scaled already. That's reduced damage already. So, I understand what you're saying. I just think that maybe, I would say at least maybe 5% should be scaled back, but I don't know how much they're going to do.
That's the point I was gonna make. Like, they said it was gonna be scaled down, but we don't know how much. But I don't think it's gonna be like so drastic to where it becomes like, okay, the ultra is just for show because it's taking off as much as a super move. I think it's gonna be scaled back maybe 5 to 10%, so it's still stronger than a super, but it's not as strong. You get what I'm saying?
Right. No, I got you. All right, moving Katsuke, what are your thoughts on having both ultras during the match?
Well, it definitely will make the player more, deadly, depending on which character that they do play with. I believe I had a conversation with you about this, about how the double ultra feature, since it's now selectable, now how this could be a turning point for some characters in the game, like such as Gen. Gen has 4 ultras initially in the game, and now since you can have both ultras stacked on top of each other, it makes him one of the most deadliest, if not one of the most craziest characters to play with now, because he has 2 supers, and now he has 4 ultras. So that's
beastly.
That's insane to think in your head. But also you have characters that need 2 ultras because of the fact of some of their moves doesn't have enough priority, like Balrog. His second ultra is a useless thing. It's just a grab. Same thing with E Honda. Now who would be more needed for this? Like the beast characters. Like imagine having Bison, having both ultras being selectable. Imagine Ryu, Akuma, Dhalsim, Sagat. Like you.
Hey.
You can. You have all these characters now that have like a fighting chance now. Same thing with Cammy and Fei Long with their counter ultras. That can actually be implemented now.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm very curious about.
What about Zangief having both ultras?
That
will be protected.
That's kind of scary because now you can fake out your opponent not knowing if you're gonna do Ultra 1 first or Ultra 2 first, and that can be a very deciding point in the match. To talk a little bit more about the scaling, I don't think the scaling is that much like decreased, but I do know like the Ultra's original damage output will probably be like toned down by like 100, like 100 shaved off of it. So I don't think it's like, oh my god, like that serious of a takeaway, because you do have 2 ultras to use at your disposal. So I don't think it would be like an unfair kind of mechanic. And just to put that out there, because I don't know if we're gonna talk about it, Combo Fiend has mentioned in the video that is repeating itself right now that they remove most likely 99% of unblockables in the game.
Yeah, and now we're gonna talk about that at the very end.
Okay.
But now go ahead, go right into it.
But I was wondering, do Capcom or Capcom Unity know that if they're very sure of every single setup that's possibly could be done in the game has been removed as of an unblockable? Because there's still people finding out every day about this stuff.
Yeah.
I can answer that because there's a video out where he says to because they're going to be doing play testing in various locations, and they want you to come bring the setup that you know that's an unblockable.
But that's the video. That's the video that we're looping right now. It's actually looping right now. So that's the video that we're talking on.
Let me speak on the double ultras real quick.
Go ahead. Yeah, you were next anyway. Go ahead, brother.
I dislike this entire discussion, and the reason I dislike this entire discussion because it has always been all of my ultras. Like they just now recently decided, oh well, Street Fighter 3, we're only going to give you one. What was the problem in the old games when we had 2, 3, or whatever before, and we weren't worried about damage, scale, or anything like that? And I feel like the games are much better now. I feel like they're giving. I feel like it's a bit of a cop out, and the reason it's a cop out, with the only reason they're not saying, you know what, bump it, everyone has both their ultras, no damage scaling. The reason they can't do that is because they know they've messed up. Like Akuma's second ultra is whack, Balrog's second ultra is whack. So those characters need to be able to just pick one and just keep it super powerful. But like the Mizzle said, I think from the beginning, just give everyone their ultras and let it be what it was, because that's what we had from the beginning and nobody was complaining about it. Now with all this damage scaling and frames and all that, I mean, that's what made the game a challenge from the get-go. I don't know what angle you're coming at me from, you know what I mean, regardless of damage. I mean, I think an ultra should be an ultra, and it's like, I don't think they should be scaled, because I don't think they should be scaled because you're only going to get one ultra per match anyway, and let's not forget that it is a revenge meter. So more than likely, if you have a fully loaded ultra, you've been losing the match, or the match is, let's be quite even. For real. So like, you know, you need it, but I don't like the damage scaling depending on how much it is. Now I looked at the video, and it didn't look like it was scaled back too much. When Rufus did his ultra, it still looked like it took a good bit.
But wait. But when you look at his Ultra 2, that was scaled. You can see the damage reduction in that.
Yeah, so I don't. As long as they don't scale it too much. I mean, I'm not expecting the game to come out and it to be perfect, but I mean, make it decent. Still, it should still be worth it to pick both, not just to say, oh, you have a tactical advantage. I think that is so dumb. I think y'all should just put both ultras in from the beginning. And honestly, real rap, I think they should change Akuma's second ultra to the triple uppercuts or a super fireball, and they need to change Balrog's. Like, even if it's just the buffalo punch with the animation, kind of like Dudley's like tornado punch. Balrog had the buffalo punch in Alpha 3 that makes
that level 3 turn punch.
Yeah, let it be an animation that sucks you in, kind of like what Ken's does, even though you're in here, it sucks you in. Change those ultras. Them junks are garbage.
I doubt.
Just give them new ultras and make it worth it. Because I don't think that's cool for people like Shinwar who play with Balrog. He's never going to pick both ultras, because, I mean, what's the point?
Yeah,
so it doesn't, it's a feature added to the game that doesn't benefit every character, and I think that's the whack part about it.
True. I think what's his name? Goken will benefit from it, having both ultras. He got the what was it, Shinshoryuken?
And the Denshin, yeah. Evil Ryu, Oni, all of those. Evil Ryu, Oni will have benefits from that. Yun and Yang will have benefits from that.
I think Makoto too.
Makoto, Ibuki, Adon, Dudley. The 5 new characters, they're gonna be benefited from it.
Oh, I ain't even think about that.
So it's definitely something to like really think about. But to me, honestly, I wish instead of having like this whole ultra thing where you either pick one or the other or have double ultra, I wish it was like Street Fighter Alpha 3, where you have like 5 to 6 supers on every fucking character and you just go nuts. Like that would just be me, and you just have them by levels. That would have been perfect, but you know.
Well, lastly, before the Mizzle takes over, just want to talk about one of the last rumors that they had. One of the delayed wake up mechanic. It was a rumor. There was no confirmation on it, but I definitely would like to see like a roll, or I don't know, maybe like as you're getting up, if the character's on you, you can sweep them or something. But there's got to be something, because once you get knocked down, like when I play, I'm like, yo, my job is not to get knocked down, especially if you got like a Kuma or a Buki. Yo, it's dangerous, bruh. It's real dangerous. So, just real quick, going around the room, what was it, a delayed wake-up mechanic, getting up. What would you like to see, like a roll or something, starting with Nuke, going back to Nuke?
I just say this. You know, I know it's a rival company, but Capcom, you need to look at the last King of Fighters game and look at some of the mechanics they have in there. I mean, you have rolls, you have dashes, you have counters. Like, there's so much offensive and defensive maneuvers that the game really does feel good and it really does feel balanced. I never feel like when I play King of Fighters that there's a BS advantage or disadvantage when I'm playing with any character because there's so many offensive and defensive moves. I can't really rush the person down because they can roll and they have like a little tech counter where they can like block your move and then roll on the other side of you after they block your move and attack you. So I think there's small things like that that need to be implemented in the game. I doubt that we'll see it, but even with the delayed wake up, you know, it'll be figured out. Once someone figures out the timing, unless you let us control it, like let's say we could delay it for 3 seconds. You know, I can still jump and do a light fireball with Akuma. I can count 1, 2, okay, jump, light fireball, because you're gonna get up. You know, it's something that can be figured out. It needs to be a roll, but it needs to be a better roll than it was in Cross Tekken. That roll was horrible. I don't know what that was. I would like to be able to just manually roll during the match, kind of like
Dan?
what's the MMA guy? Dan
Abel.
or
Abel.
Abel, you know what I mean? Like a roll like that. I like those rolls. But
I like rolls from the supermarket too.
That made no sense.
Rugen, your thoughts on the delayed wake up mechanic?
I would either
Kaiser rolls.
really. I would either prefer a wake up backwards roll, a wake up forward roll like in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I doubt they'll be able to do this mechanic, but you know how I think it was either Kings of Fighters or Capcom versus SNK 2, where it looks like it's like a sidestep, but they go like phase through the character itself, like some sweeping sidestep motion. I really don't remember exactly what it was. Something like that, or just like a longer time for you to just wake up so you could just DP on surprise or some shit like that. Either one of those, I'll be fine with. But to me, that's not a mechanic I'm really too worried about because the characters that I play with necessarily have the offensive advantage against most people. So that's not something I should really be, looking into as much.
True. And the Mizu, what are your thoughts?
I wish that they could do it like Capcom vs SNK 2, where there's like an ism where you can choose what kind of wake up you have, just have the straight up pop up like you have in Street Fighter 4 currently, or you have a roll, or you have the sidestep. Like, depending on your playstyle, the type of roll would be for an advantage specifically for you because of how you play. So you should be able to choose how you wake up,
Yeah, I agree. Alright, well, this is closing out this segment on Ultra Street Fighter 4 and all the new confirmations and announcements. Up next, we got the Mizu with some more news, so
Yo, what's going on? We got some PlayStation 4 news for you, and I know we got a lot of people out there who's like, oh, you guys are Xbox fanboys, but this is some serious news. Remember that stuff that you didn't like, that Xbox One was gonna have the day one download? Well, guess what, people? PlayStation 4 has it too. You are gonna have an approximately 300 megabyte download to essentially activate everything on your PlayStation. You cannot do anything without this download. You cannot watch a Blu-ray movie. You cannot watch a DVD movie. You can't go online to play your games. You cannot create a profile. You cannot put your system into sleep mode. You cannot do anything without this day one download. So all that stuff that you were complaining about that Xbox One had, Sony PlayStation fans, well, guess what? You have it too. So I want to get everybody's feelings on this, and we're going to start with my man Newt. Newt, go for it.
ladies and gentlemen, if you do not have the internet, I apologize. I don't know where you live or why you're in those conditions, but I pray that you get out of there. and get the internet. Let's just be real. The internet is the world right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, where would we be without the internet? Updates are important in gaming. Updates are important. You need them. You know, developers need them. The fans need them. So we can demand things and we can actually get them instead of having to wait for a new release. Now, I don't know what's up with this whole shipping the systems without being updated, because I don't know what that's about, but whatever, man. You need your day one update. I'm pretty sure GameStop will have somebody somewhere will have something where y'all can still get them. You might have to take them to your friend's house or connect the Wi-Fi somewhere. I don't know.
Still somebody's Wi-Fi.
Still somebody's Wi-Fi. I mean, yeah, pretty much. If you don't have the internet, sorry. That's all I got to say about it.
How are you watching us if you don't have the internet?
And the cell phone, man. Better use your cell phone as a router. Dang.
Using that tethering.
Hotspot. That's why I got unlimited mobile tethering, yo. But Shinwar, what do you think of this bait and switch that Sony pretty much pulled? Like, puffing out their chest at E3, like, oh, we don't have those policies. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, look at that, and now they have
pretty much 2.5 weeks before the system's released. Like, we forgot to tell y'all, but y'all gonna have to do this, that, and the other. That stuff that y'all didn't like about the Xbox One, you're gonna have to do it with us too.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we could go back to the days of just opening the box, take the console out, plug it up, and start playing. But I mean, it's mandatory day one. It's not the end of the world. But how big did you say the Sony's size of their day one patch? How big was it?
300 megabytes.
Now
300
300 megs. Now I remember the PS3. Some of its download was real slow. And I'm like, I hope it's, not slow on the PS4. I mean, hey, do what you gotta do and then just get it out the way. But yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
Well, considering that Sony hasn't really upgraded their servers, and this is a required day one download, it's gonna crush the servers and it's gonna go extremely slow.
Yeah, they are.
I didn't even think about that.
I hope Sony is prepared for the onslaught.
Don't have a Grand Theft Auto moment, Sony.
Oh, please. Yeah, let's not talk about that. Hope they're ready for the onslaught of everybody downloading the mandatory day one patch. But yeah, this is the age we're living in. Yo, what if somebody had like dial-up and tried to play? Imagine that.
Oh my goodness.
Just be waiting.
You know what? I say this for shame on both Sony and Microsoft. If I'm spending $400 or $500 on a product, I should be able to open that thing up and use it. Okay?
Yeah.
Come on.
Exactly. All right, Nelson, man, what do you think of this bait and switch that Sony's essentially pulled with the day one download, having to essentially activate the system's features?
Well, honestly, I'm not surprised because everything is starting to become very similar to both Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. It's honestly going to come down to key features that the console is bringing towards the consumer. But still to this day, it's going to need a mandatory install regardless because they're trying to get with the times of everything. Like, everything is run on the internet. We're all into the social media. So they expect everyone to have some type of internet connection, whether if it's DSL, broadband, cable, or whatever it may be. But to kind of stray away from that a bit, like I said, it's going to come down to the key features of the consoles that's actually going to make the person actually want to buy it. And sadly, I'm going to point this out. Sadly, every damn thing that PlayStation 4 is now doing with their key features, Xbox 360 has already done it. So you guys are way behind on all your key features by 3 years, 3-4 years almost. So I'm just saying, Sony, y'all need to catch up. Y'all 4 games at launch compared to Xbox One's. February, man. Get a PS4 in February.
Yeah.
My opinion on it is like, it's like, I feel like deceived, man, because Sony was coming all chest puffed out, like, yeah, we got this one, we got Microsoft, we made them all bitch, and then like,
What?
Your mic is.
Well,
Alright, we hear you now.
it's like,
Hello?
I feel deceived because Microsoft.
We can't hear you, brother.
I feel deceived because Sony was like, okay, we got
It's like you on the CB radio, yo. In the truck.
Yo, the mizzle, your mic, yo. Yo, it sound like you, Kurt Russell, yo, in Big Trouble in Little China. In that truck, yo.
That's what it sounds like.
Yo, it's breaker, yo. Hey. Alright, try again, yo.
well, apparently I'm having microphone issues, so I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, you're good now.
You're good. Hurry up and finish.
Alright, I kind of feel deceived by Sony because they had their chests puffed out at E3, like, yeah, we made Microsoft our bitch, and we're gonna have this, that, and the other. But then, it's like, okay, we're gonna have this, that, and the other, and they wait until the last possible minute to tell people. I'm not mad that they're doing it, per se, I'm just mad that the way they came off and tried to put it off to the last possible minute so they made sure that the public perception was on their side before they rolled out this information, you know?
Word.
Well, that's
The,
for what I have to say. But
yo,
does
the mizzle,
anybody-
it sound like you're in a sweatshop, yo.
He making Jordan, Joe.
12 cents an hour, baby. 12 cents an hour.
Oh, shit.
Alright, I'll close it out since your mic's breaking up the mizzle. So yeah, that's news covering this coming week. NFO will be back with some more news. Shout out to Alex Lexus, who is absent at the moment. Godspeed, sir. Any last comments anybody want to make?
Not right
Subscribe
now,
to
no.
my page. Subscribe to my page, Noop1949. I'll be bringing you another episode of Picking Your Brain with Noop, with some just little quick tidbits and weird topics that I think about. Check out my music. I got a mixtape coming out December 17th. Also, by the middle of November, I'd say, I'm going to have an official song recorded to introduce the NFO show every time we come on and exit. And I'll give y'all a little quick, 16 bars or something like that. I ain't going to charge y'all this time. Other than that, keep watching and keep supporting.
Hold on, yo.
He just pimped his album, yo.
You gotta pay for this
It's a
advertising.
mixtape, man.
The Mizzle, any lasting comments?
No, I'm good.
All right, and Mugen, any last comments?
Yeah, just tune in, guys. Always watch the podcast. Tune in onto the stream on Twitch, and always go to our YouTube, either on Noob1949, the Mizzle's YouTube, the main YouTube channel at Alex Lexus, and also we're doing a midnight launch for the Xbox One. So stay tuned for that. I don't know if we're going to actually do it from start to finish, but as the days get closer and closer, we'll update you guys with that.
All right, this is NFO. We out of here. Peace.
Later.
Peace.